Hello, it's day 56. I don't know. I never know. Let's go. Oh, wait, we had to watch that video.
But some of the champs you can find this to be useful on. So lastly guys, I'm going to quickly talk about the wave management. So in general, if you want more CS, pushing the wave is going to be better. And the reason for that is because one, it allows you to choose your base timings. Two, it allows you to use your turns for things like going for enemy camps, going for wards, going for rogues. Examples from a scrim, and this was just pretty sure I lose an entire bot wave, and I'm also very late on these bot lane camps. So that's a bit of a problem. You kind of want to avoid like inefficiencies like that. Actually, I think this guy might have taken the Grump from me. So I think that's basically all I wanted to show you guys from this example. We're going to go into another one. So this example is from a scrim, and this was just when the mid game got started. You can see I already have like quite a bit of CS over the clock. Just in a scrim, it's like a lot easier. Like last game was a solo queue game, right? In a scrim, you have more time to farm. The game's a bit slower, so you don't have to. You can get quite a bit of CS even without like farming the side lane too much. So I go to the side lane again. I push the wave in as far as I can. That tier 1 tower is still up, but I can't really push any further. I could go for the tower here, but I felt like I could cut off Anivia on the way over. If you guys have seen my Corki guide, you actually will have seen this VOD before, but I still think it's a pretty good example. So you can see that top wave was crashing, so I didn't need to go to it, and I'm able to kill this guy. And then afterwards, I'm able to farm these two camps. So this is when I really start getting like ahead of the game in CS. And you can see that top wave is just like kind of dead right now. I think I do miss like half of it maybe, but it was pretty worth it because I got a kill and I got like another, what, like 8 CS from the jungle camps. So that was really, really nice. So go back talk now. Actually, the top wave should be pushing to me, but I am going to push it in. But yeah, so you can see I actually most of that CS survived, which is pretty nice. They come here and collect this wave. Again, I'm thinking like I want to push this in as far as I'm kind of like able to, and then I have a choice here. I can go to camps or I can hit this tower. I could go to Krugs, but I decided because my Viega was so far up on the map that it would be better to hit this tower, and also the gold from the tower is like better, right? I can't remember if I actually got it here. Nope, very low. Um, so I maybe could have gone to Krugs, but honestly, I don't think it's like too big a deal. I guess like if I purely wanted CS, going for the Krugs would have been better. But I think it might have been more gold overall to hit that tower. Now I'm basing here. The next objective is going to be the dragon, I think. Oh, I actually don't base. I think we start playing for this tier 1 tower next. So I'm actually going to stay here for now. But if we were playing for that dragon next, then I would have gone there. So playing for this tier 1 tower means I'm on the strong side. People are going to be like hovering towards me. So I'm like pretty free to just like push this wave in and not really like think about anything else on the map at the moment. I think this was actually back before I really used F keys. It definitely wasn't a habit back then, but when you're pushing the side lane, it is kind of important that you F key like frequently. You can see like I am doing it now, but probably not enough.
My work is easy because I use ClickUp. Here's how I keep everything I need to get.
Or not as much as I should. Now here I'm being a bit hesitant. I don't see their jungler. You can see there's a lot of like dead vision near me, so I do have to be a bit careful, but ultimately I do want to like push this wave all the way in. Eventually I see their jungler on the mid wave, so I'm able to just clear out that wave. Now here I have a few choices. There are no camps up in their top side. The only camp up on our side is the Krugs, and I can't really safely hit the top tower, so I just opt to go for a base instead. And then coming out of base, I believe I go to these Krugs. Makes the most sense, like efficiency wise. The top wave isn't there yet, but I still want to be top lane. I can come down like in a couple minutes for this drag, and I'm going to farm the Krugs like on the way to the lane. Again, you can see here my jungler on the bot side of the map, so there's no reason for me like not to farm this, and I'm not losing any creeps for it as well, right? Like the wave is like in the middle of the lane right now. I'm easily able to just like get all these creeps. You can see now I'm like 30 CS above the clock, so we're like slowly accelerating ourselves. Obviously, all this is quite a bit easier if you can farm quickly. You know, if you're playing a champ like Corki, Aurelia, Ryze, pretty much any 80 carry champion like Lucian, etc., you'll be able to farm a lot faster because you can clear camps quicker, you can clear waves quicker, just everything like that. So here I kind of had to like come down towards mid. I don't really have the vision to keep pushing top, and I need to wait for my team to get the vision. And now it is kind of common, guys, in solo queue that like you won't get that vision. You're not always going to be able to have like really good CS in solo queue. I'll talk about like some kind of benchmarks to hit in solo queue at the end, but just like keep in mind you're trying to get as much CS as like you can, like while it's still optimal. You know, like CS isn't the end of the world. You're not always going to be able to have really high CS numbers in the game. So I pushed the wave pretty far. I can't get it all the way under the tower because it's a bit too greedy, but I'm able to use my priority to come down and we can just burst this Baron. At least someone stole my Scuttle Crabs. That's another 4 CS I lost. Now here, I actually did base. I think that was so I could package TP, but there was actually... Oh, actually I didn't even pick up my package, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was kind of a mistake, I think. I could have either farmed the top wave or I could have packaged TP here, but I didn't do either. So that was pretty inefficient, in my opinion, and probably puts me a bit behind on CS, but like I'm already 40 CS above the clock, right? So it's like not a huge deal overall. And this is also like pretty poor for efficiency. We have like 3 people sharing the mid wave, like our mid, top, and AD. This is like really poor at the moment. You can see like both those side waves are dead. But I would try avoid this. Like if you are sieging with Baron, it's best if you can use 2 waves. Sometimes in solo queue you could play one wave if you're like scared or if you don't have TPs. But yeah, like this sort of situation is generally pretty bad for your CSing. You kind of want to have like, I don't know, like on one hand you do want to be able to like respond to your team. On the other hand, you definitely don't want to be like just sharing CS because obviously it like just kind of puts all your carries like behind. I think that's pretty much it for this replay. So let's go into the next one. Okay, so now we're going to look at a pro game that Chovy played. In this game, I will link the VOD in the description. He had 480 CS as Lucian at 40 minutes or like 39 minutes. So he was like 80 or 90 CS above the clock. And he also had about 80 CS purely from jungle camps. This is one of the most impressive like CS in games that I'd ever seen. And I think it's a really good example to watch and just kind of like have a look at his mid-game decision making. Again, if you do want to like watch this for yourself, it'll be in the description. But let's take a look at it because I think Chovy is like definitely the best at like mid-game CSing. He is like 30 or 40 CS, depending on, yeah, about 30 CS above the clock at the moment. And that's mainly from those early game techniques that we talked about earlier. So you could have a look at that if you wanted, but it's kind of like stuff we've already covered. So out of base, he comes to the top wave. The reason that was is because the dragon is down for a while, and the Baron is going to be like the next objective that's somewhat contested. You can see, you guys can see the map, yep. He's a little scared at the moment. He doesn't have any vision topside, and his jungler is mid, so it is sort of scary to push the side wave. But he does win the 1v1, and you can see like this is where we'd be talking about like the ideal is that you can push this wave all the way to the tier 2, right? But simply put, he doesn't really have the vision for it. Like Lilia is not near him. His team doesn't have enough control of topside, so he can't. Like it would be ideal, but he kind of just has to like deal with it. He did hit that Scry's Bloom, which gives him a little bit of vision, and he feels confident to kind of to push this in. He does get, I'm pretty sure if I remember this. Oh yeah, okay. So he TP'd mid, and that got cancelled by Orianna. But he makes a really good play and manages to kill Ori here. But then he dies to Graves straight after. And now, again, guys, like it does suck to die like this, and you are going to die like this while you're like learning to play the side wave. But ultimately, the death is not that bad. Like if you look at the top lane wave, he did get it pretty much all the way in, and it is going to push back to him, especially after Graves pushes it in. I'm not sure if it's going to die to that tower or not because the tower is so low. But as the boss would say, it's actually a pretty good death overall. I wouldn't say pretty much any death is actually good, but as far as deaths go, it's not too bad. Coming on the map here, the dragon's up in a minute, so it's sort of like hard for him to like full commit to top wave. I can't remember exactly what he did here. Oh, I'm gonna replay it.
Are you a Roblox fanatic? Microsoft Rewards has a brand new way for you.
Skip past it. Okay, yeah, so it looks like the dragon spawning in 20 seconds. We can't quite see because it's in the replay, but it looks like he pushed the top wave kind of like as far as he could, which was like almost to the tower, and then he kind of just has to come group. So obviously, guys, if the only thing that like mattered was CS, like you would want to be top lane right now, like pushing that wave. But obviously, you do sometimes have to fight Dragon. You can see he did take some of the mid-wave. I'm kind of like mixed on this. I feel like on one hand, like taking CS from your AD carry is like not great. On the other hand, if you're playing solo queue and you want a 1v9, like you need as much CS as possible. So like, yeah, it's up to you guys if you want to steal your AD carry CS. So they have this team fight. Doesn't really matter for our CSing, so we're just gonna skip past it. Now after the team fight, I think did they get this Baron? Yeah, so they got the Baron, and now before Chovy bases, he's actually gonna come and take some of this topside camps and also the top lane wave. Another replay, making this a little difficult for me to review. So it looks like he took the Gromp and Orianna took the top tower, I think. So he's gonna push this wave probably a bit further because I think he feels safe. Or he might go to these camps instead. Okay, looks like he's going to go to the camps. I think it's probably a good decision. Like at the top side, like jungle looks pretty dark. He can't tell that there's no one up there. So he goes for the blue buff first, and then he kind of has to come mid. So again, like it would be ideal if possible. Like if you have the vision, if you have the control, if you have like the teammates near you, push that wave all the way in. But sometimes it's just not possible. So he kind of has to like come mid here, I think, before he can do anything else in the side lane. But I think he will eventually go back up to that top wave. Actually, can't remember. It's been kind of a while. Gonna have another fight. Yeah, I mean, looks like... Okay, so after the fight happens, he looks in the enemy top jungle. He's looking for Raptors at the moment, and he starts moving back up top. I think the reason he's doing this is, like, 2 of the enemy team are dead, and he also knows where everyone on the enemy team is at the moment. So he feels very safe coming up to push this tower. And obviously he wins the 1v1 versus Orianna, so it's very easy for him to push this in. Also, the Krugs, they're spawning very soon. Not sure if he'll go for them or he takes the base. Looks like he takes the base. Probably going to walk straight to his topside jungle. There are 2 camps up there. We'll see if he gives them to Lilia. Lilia's basing, so I imagine he's going to take both of these camps on the way out. We might not be able to see because of the replay, but it was actually a very efficient base. Like he pushed the wave all the way in, and I imagine he takes both camps on the way out to top side. Yep, so if we actually just quickly look, before this, he had 295 CS, and the only things he can farm are here and here, so that's another 8 CS. After the replay, he's farmed like both those camps, and I think he maybe farmed some of that wave. I'm not quite sure. Sort of annoying with the replays, right? But we're just getting an idea of like how he's like playing out the mid game. So again, he's pushed the top wave like reasonably far in, and then he looks to group mid. Dealing a lot of CS from his AD carry, I do respect it overall. Like if you're playing a champ that scales, like it's much more justifiable, right? Lucian actually scales like pretty well, but especially if you're a champ like Corki or Victor, like, and you just scale like a monster, it can be like really, really worth it to just like farm as much as possible. You do kind of have to be like careful of people's egos though. If you steal too much CS, they might just rage quit the game, so I wouldn't recommend doing it that much. But, if you can get away with it, then fuck it. So the top wave's coming back towards him. He wants to go farm that. There's the Scuttle Crab on the way, which is nice. He gets the extra CS. And also, I don't know if he knows, but those Krugs are up. So after this, he might go and farm them. But you can see, guys, like... Okay, so he's actually TPing mid, so this was interesting. I should go back to this. So normally, because he's a mid laner, he would want to be like on the side that's closest to the objective, but he can't really get to bot lane right now. He'd have to walk all the way through the enemy team, and also like Renekton's already like closer than he is, so he's just going to go top here and then use his TP to get back bot. So if you do take TP in solo queue, you can look to do stuff like this. A bit easier to play the side lane if you do have TP, but at the same time, like TP, you have to get a lot of use out of it. Otherwise, like stuff like Ignite or just heal, any summoner really, any combat summoner is going to be more effective, just because they're just like not as hard to use. And I think a lot of the time it's like hard in solo queue to get like the full use out of TP, kind of like what the best thing is about it, which is like creating like mana advantages and like accelerating your farming. So it looks like we have another team fight. We'll see where he passed after this. Okay, so it looks like he took wolves and then he took the midwave. Actually, just skip back so yeah. Yep, so the enemy wolves were up. He went to clear those, and I think Kai'Sa probably goes to this top wave. Makes a bit more sense efficiently, like Kai'Sa's closer to it, and he can probably get this mid wave. Yep, so he goes for the mid wave. You can see already he's like 50 CS above the clock, which is like pretty impressive, right? And I think he is probably going to get more. Ice actually doesn't end up going for that wave. Okay, so it looks like here we can't quite see it, but after he based and came on the map, there's this there's a couple of these top camps up. We'll see which ones he takes. It looks like right now he's 349. It actually looks like Lily is going to give him both camps, or maybe just one. Okay, so he just took one, he took the blue, and then he came to Baron. And actually, guys, this is one thing I forgot to say, is if you were side laning and farming camps really well, you'll end up really, like, far ahead of everyone else in levels, and that's, like, really, really important. In fact, I'd say that's even, like, more important than, like, the goal even. Like, a lot of the time when people are, like, falling behind in CS in the mid game, it's not so much the gold that becomes a problem, because a lot of the time they're still getting a lot of kills, but it's actually like the XP that like becomes like a big problem, because you're sharing XP with like 3 people on midwave. But if you're level 18 or like higher level than other people in the game, it just gives you so many like stats to work with and makes you so much stronger than everyone else. So about 50 CS above the clock right now. He's going to push this top wave in probably as far as he can, and then I think he'll either look for a base, or he'll probably just like look to take that tower. So let's see what he does. Oh, never mind. Not going to get to see what he does. I think he based. Yeah, it looks like he based and ran bot, and I think okay, so we can see in the replay that these Krugs are up, and it looks like he pathed out of base and just took the Krugs right there. So he does not have TP, which makes it a bit awkward. But because his AD carry just died, I don't think there's any point in him coming to group at the moment. I think other people can clear the mid wave. So it's pretty efficient for him right now just to push his side wave, but he doesn't feel safe pushing any further. So he's just... Oh, he's actually pinging for assistance on the bot wave. That's kind of interesting. I actually like what he did there. So he got Nautilus to just hover him for a second there, so that he was safe pushing that wave in. And he managed to get it all the way up to there, which is really nice, before baiting. So now 70 CS above the clock. Let's see where he goes from here. Coming out of base, so it looks like Renekton's going to be top and he's going to be bot, but there's no point going bot yet because the wave is still really far away. So he deploys mid. He can like pressure here for a bit before he goes to the side wave, or if they just want to play mid top, like he can look to do that too. Another thing, guys, is like really important, and this will show you, is the more fed you get, like the more farm, the quicker you become to do stuff. So like if you're really fed and you like one-shot camps and you one-shot waves, it gives you so much more time. So you can see here, when you literally kill the wave in like 2 seconds, it gives you way more time to just like go around and farm even more. So like accelerating yourself ahead of like the curve, yeah, I guess ahead of the curve, can make it so that you can like farm really fast. And if any of you have ever had like a really, really high CS game, you'll find that like it gets to the point where you're just like vacuuming up the entire map. And oftentimes if you fall behind in CS, it's like really hard to ever catch back up. So the bot wave's a bit far, they all like rotate on top. There's not too much left in the game. I think it went to 39 minutes, so we'll just keep going through it. So here, there's the mid wave, gets all the CS, pretty much all there is to it. After this, I imagine he's going to run to these bot camps in this bot wave. So you can see he's always thinking about like what camps are up, what waves he can farm. He manages to take the wolves. Okay, goes for the base. I think the reason he didn't push that bot wave there is he really wants to base before this Elder Dragon, which is in a minute, and he wanted to keep his TP. I'm guessing that's the reason, but I actually don't know for sure. So coming back on the map here, again, looks like he's going to farm these Krugs on the way out. And I can't remember if I said before, but he farmed around 80 CS of jungle camps in this game, which is absolutely ridiculous. Like 80 of his CS by the end of the game was purely from jungle camps. That's like insane levels of efficiency. And that's one thing that Chovy does really well, just in general, is he like farms camps and like side waves insanely efficiently compared to other people.
It's moving day. That's right, Mint Mobile is coming home to your home. I mean, if you'll have us.
So I imagine this is just going to be a Baron fight here. I mean, a Dragon fight. Just quickly, don't really care about the fights too much. Oh, actually, okay, this is quite interesting. So he actually TP'd straight top. He recognized the fight was lost. He TP's top where he can apply some more pressure up there. I think he can hit the tower. And also after this, if he wants, he could go to these jungle camps. I think he kind of does need to pressure here because like they're doing Elder, right? That wouldn't be that great a trade if he just went and like took their Krugs or something, because I think they wouldn't care. But taking that top tower, if he can base and get out, it's really nice. Also, again, he got more farm out of it. Okay, so he's gone to the Krugs, again, more CS. Also, another thing is that like if you can steal CS from the enemy team, it's much more valuable than if you take it from your team. So if you can, you always want to go for enemy camps over yours, because you're like denying like denying CS to their team, as opposed to like just denying CS or like putting CS from your team like onto the right person, I suppose. Now here again, 3 topside camps. I'll just quickly show you before the replay. There are 3 topside camps up. And I imagine he's going to farm all 3 of them before he bases, but we don't know for sure. He has 438 CS before this replay. Now he has 454, so I'm pretty sure he took all 3 of those camps, but I can't guarantee it. Could have been Lilia. And it looks like he did push the top wave kind of to the... Actually, I think the top wave just pushed all the way back. I don't think he pushed it. So Kais is actually in the side lane right now. Kind of interesting. 2 minutes left on this game, I believe, until it ends. See what he does here. So this mid wave is actually just like completely like even at the moment. They kind of like, if you push this wave at the moment, you just like won't be able to stop them doing Baron. But actually, it might have been better to push it anyway if he'd realized that there was no chance to stop Baron. So maybe a slight mistake, but honestly, it's pretty hard to recognize, and I feel like it's better to err on the side of caution and like make sure you're at the objective, you know, than just like always pushing waves and never fighting. Really important that like you are actually still fighting, you know, because like it doesn't matter how much CS you have if you're like never at a fight, never at an objective, because you're just like never gonna put the items to good use, right? So if you do have a lot of farm, especially if you're 6 items, but you know, even if you're much less than that, you do actually want to make sure you are in the fights to use them. I think here, I believe this is the last fight of the game, so I will show it to you guys. And this will like show you how important it is to like stay like really high CS. I honestly believe if it were like just about any other Lucian mid other than Chovy, they probably would have lost this game. Not because Chovy is necessarily the best Lucian mid in the world, but because like this was a game where you had to like Chovy had to farm like insanely well in order to like to play these fights. It's, I'd say, a pretty difficult comp actually to play Lucian against, and you can see actually he got one shot there, but he does have GA. But even these comps that are quite difficult to play against, if you like overstat or like basically you just like slap them with your wallet because you're so farmed, you're so over leveled, it just becomes like so much easier to play the game. And if you can make sure to keep your CS up in the mid game, it makes a really big difference over like, you know, people that don't, because it gives you a really high chance to carry the game basically at all states. So that's kind of it for the examples in the mid game in general. I'm going to quickly like summarize everything in kind of the outro, but I think that kind of gives like the best like examples, I guess, or the best idea of how to play the mid game. Just in general, the mid game is quite hard, you know, like there's a lot to learn, and even very good players like still make a lot of mistakes in the mid game. So definitely don't worry if you're making a lot of mistakes while learning it. And another thing is, it's like a lot of the time you're just not going to get to like play the side lane a lot in solo queue. It's just kind of like how it goes. If you do kind of want to check out a little bit more on this, I think my Chovy Akali CSing guide did cover a bit more of this, so you might want to check that out as well. So guys, that's kind of going to be it for like all the actual techniques. I'm just going to talk about it a bit more generally. So I think while this guide teaches you, or I hope it teaches you, kind of like how to get the maximum CS that you can, it's important that you realize that CS is not everything. There are times when you can't get CS. There are times when it's more efficient or like more impactful to do things that aren't CSing. So this is like going to be the first of my mid lane fundamental guides, because I think that CSing as a mid laner or as a top laner or as an ADC especially it's like probably the most core fundamental to League of Legends, but it is by no means the only thing that matters. So if it's something I want you guys to take away from this is like you're not going to be able to get like 11 CSPM in every game, let alone like most games, you know. If you look at Chovy's solo queue, there are a lot of games where Chovy doesn't even have 10 CSPM in solo queue. Simply put, it's like pretty difficult. So if you kind of want like a guideline for what I think you should have, I think in the early game it is actually quite replicable that you have a lot of CS. I think for the first 15 minutes, or maybe even the first 20, maybe first like 18 minutes or so, I think if you can have 9 to 10 CSPM and at this stage of the game, it sets you up really well to win the game. You know, that's a lot of farm for that time, especially if you're low elo. That like will really accelerate you ahead of like other people around you. Again, like you're not going to be able to get this every game. Like there are times when it'll be better to roam. There'll be times where there's just too much fighting to get this CS. You know, it doesn't happen every game. If you're dying a lot, you know, that's gonna like kind of like give you problems as well. But yeah, I think in that early game, if you can have like either on the clock or a bit below the clock CS, you're in a very good spot. When it comes to the mid game, I think if you are playing like really well, or if you've like got it down, you're like really good at understanding the side lane, you can still manage 10 CSPM. But honestly, I think if you can manage like the 10 CSPM in the early game, end the game with somewhere above like 8 CSPM or higher if you can, I think that's like really good for solo queue and like gives you a very high chance to carry most of your games. CSing in general, I think while it's like a simple skill or like it's an easy to execute skill, there's like a lot to it. Like you can see Chovy has learned so much about farming and is like kind of made it into an art form almost of how he CSs or how he farms compared to other players. And there are other pro players, including myself as a pro player, that couldn't CS like him. You know, like I can't CS to his level. So obviously don't be like ashamed if you can't CS to that level, especially if you're not even high elo to begin with. So guys, I hopefully this was helpful. If you do kind of want to learn more about this, I'd actually really recommend just like watching Chovy's solo queue games, particularly the mid game, and just like having a look at like how he's getting his CS, you know, what kind of things he's doing. Like maybe there are things I haven't even covered in this video. There might be things I've forgotten, but I think it's like a pretty good guide to kind of like get you started and get you like in the right, like, I don't know if mindset's the right word, like knowing what things actually matter when it comes to CSing. And I think another thing that you should like look at or think about is this is, again, to get the maximum CS available to you in a game, right? But not all the time will 10 CSPM be available to you. So you've really got to look at the game, like actually think to yourself, like, could I have gotten more CS that game, you know, if I hadn't died, if I, you know, made poor movements around the map, stuff like that, if there are ways that you can kind of get more CS. But anyway, guys, I think that's it. Thank you all for watching. If you didn't check out the Chovy Akali CSing video, that's kind of, I would recommend watching that one as well, especially for the mid game. My next mid lane fundamentals will be on laning. Not sure when that'll be, but hopefully sometime soon. Yeah, so thanks for watching. If you liked it, like and subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them below. I feel like this one will have a lot of questions because it's like pretty complex. So yeah, anyway, see you guys next time.
Okay. You can hit the cannon. Oof, oh my god. Oh, I still have golden cracks. Forgot. No. What? Yeah, I guess it makes sense because I wasted my abilities, so she said, she has no abilities, time to push. So she pushes, and I die. So, yeah, that's my bad. And throwing abilities randomly, I deserve this. What? Oh, I didn't shoot. He doesn't get stunned or what? Okay. Oh my god. So bad. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, yes. Nice. Nice. His run is insane, let me tell you. Nice. No, dude. Oh. I had this. I forgot. Okay, I need to stop farming and like focusing on team fighting. I cannot even farm properly, just like why do I even try to do like farming, like jungle things and weird stuff? Yep. Dude, what? Great. Take me farm. No. What? Oh! Oh! I thought Seth killed Master Yi. Dude, I cannot farm now. Wow, I'm so intelligent. No, 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 don't go by yourself. Don't go by yourself, no, no. We needed him. Right, good. Nice, perfect. No. Fuck. Okay. I don't need to say anything. It was obviously a bad game. I need to take this more seriously. But now it's not worth for me to try because like I'm not in the mood, or how do you say it, I don't have the right mentality, so I'm just gonna go to sleep and that's it. Tomorrow I will, I don't know, have a better mentality. See you next time.